All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. My name is Lou Tenor, and we'll be here until 6 o'clock this evening. We got a lot of we got a lot of sports to talk about. October has usually been a busy month in the sports world, and this month, well, this year's thing is no exception. We got the MLB playoffs going around. NHL has started its season already with the two games between the Devils and the Sabres. I'll get to that a little bit later. College NBA preseason just started up this week, and the regular season begins in about 3 weeks. And once again, of course, NFL is in full gear, of course. Oh, don't forget the number is 512-543-4662. Once again, 512-543-4662, and we'll be here till 6 o'clock before Rizal McGee takes over his fine show. And don't forget Kevin Nixon on Monday nights from 6 to 8 during football season. All right, so don't forget, check us on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in theenhancedsportshow.com. All right, I guess we got some customers already, so let's bring them in. All right, Steve Davidson, are you there? I'll get to the baseball in a minute. Mikey, Steve Kent, is that you, Steve? Okay, there we go. Okay, nice and loud, guys, nice and loud. All right. So with the yeah, I think we're gonna do a little bit more out of order this week. So just forgive me on that. We'll start with the baseball playoffs. And Mike, you gotta be happy with your Mets, how they made it out. They pulled it out of the fire on Thursday night in the top of the ninth. Thanks to your star player, of course, right? Right. Pete Alonso, of course. Well, uh, I don't want to sound too cliche, but in the words of Mighty Mouse, here I come to save the day, and my career as a Met. Oh boy. Yeah, because, well, look, I mean, think about it, because he was almost gonna be gone as a Met if they didn't win that game. So, I think someone's trying to tell him, "Hey, Pete, you know what? You're not done yet." So, I guess he tried to, like, kinda pull a Babe Ruth, if you know what I mean, "Oh, we hit the home run." "Hey, okay, 2? Alright." Well, he only got 1, but it couldn't come at a better moment as it came on the top of the ninth, and, the Mets were down 4-2, and, had to make a fierce comeback to do it, and somehow they just managed it. So you got to be pretty happy, Michael, with that. I would think so. Coming from a fan like you, of course. But don't forget, guys. I know Mike pretty well, so I know what his baseball team was like, and from a team that started 0-6 and was looking dead in the water by mid-June, they turned things around in the mid-season and just poured it on. So to keep this going, after a season of triumphs, excitements, and resilience, the tank appeared to be running on empty. Where's the Jackson Brown? Into a must-win Game 3 in the National League Wildcard Series. Pete Alonso, an unrestricted free agent, made sure his final potential game would not be against the Brewers. I was thinking it would be. After nothing, and I mean nothing, through 8 innings, Alonso kept the season alive with a three-run jack off Brewers closer Dervin Devin Williams in the night for a 4-2 victory to take the wild card series. And after that, I just went and threw up. There's This is something you practice a kid in the backyard, said Alonso. You go through the scenarios as a kid, and it's like, all right, you're in the playoffs, down by a few runs. I don't know what words can explain it. It just feels so unreal. Yeah, exactly. They take the first game, then they lose the second game, and then just look like they're dead in the water in the third and final game. Pete Alonso comes through. So now the Mets are taking on the Phillies, or as I call it, the battle of the Turnpike, and they're in the LDS for the first time since they made it to the World Series in 2015 when they lost to the Kansas City Royals. All right, Mike, who do you like in this series? Obviously, of course. I had to check to make sure. All right, Steve Davidson, who do you got in this series? You know we're talking about Mike Paris, not Michael Jordan. Steve Kent. Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Mm, I would think too. Matthew, since you just joined us, your thoughts on this series? I have to agree with you on that, man, because what you're just saying, even though the Phillies have been dominant all season, the Mets, are kind of like a sleeper team, and sleeper teams don't go away that easily. So while I do think that the Phillies will win, I think in I think 4 games, the Mets will make it interesting. So especially when they play, at City Field, because they were alive, because they came alive when on the home field. So while I do think that Philly may have the advantage here in this first 2 games, um, well, the Mets will make it interesting, but no, I think I'm going to go to the distance 5 games because they'll make it interesting in games 3 and 4. So I do believe it will go the distance. So this is not going to be an easy series, and I don't expect it to be. Not that I'm that fan, people, but I know how the Mets have been all season, especially at home. So I have to give them credit where credit is due. I don't want to, but I will. Oh boy. All right. Next series. And I'll get to that baseball stuff later. All right, hurt me. The Padres versus the Dodgers. Uh, Steve Davidson, who do you want here? Exactly. Steve Steve Kent? Start of the sport books. No, you're not the only one. The sport- yeah, no, no. All right, Mike, Matt, speak up, Matt. All right, I guess you take the Dodgers. I'm taking the Dodgers too. That looks to be an easy series. Anyway, all right, next series: Kansas City against the Yankees. Hmm. Mike, thank you, thank you. Steve Davidson. Yeah, thank you. Right, Matt. Yeah, I do too. Yes, so do I. Oh, and a game that ended just a little while ago, or looks to be ending right now. As the Tigers take on the Gargoyles. I mean the Guardians. Sorry, it's Halloween, folks. All right, so Steve Davidson, who do you like between the Tigers and the Guardians? Steve Kent. Right. Remember, folks, one game does not a series make. Mike, that's true, but most of the time, because I've seen teams that won the first game by a considerable margin and go on to lose a series, so anything can happen. Uh, did somebody's voices change, or did the sound of my significant other? It might be. It is. Hello, Diane. All right, so Mike, you're taking the Yankees. Matthew. Oh wait. Yes. Okay. No, really. Hmm. All right, James. I'd like to welcome James to the show. James, who do you like in this series so far? We have. I'll read them down for you again. We got the Tigers versus the Guardians, the Mets and the Phillies, the Royals versus the Yankees, and the Padres taking the Dodgers. Hold it. Let James answer first. James. Okay. I read the names off. Who do you like in each series? Who do you like in each series? We have okay. The Tigers taking on the Guardians, and you say the Tigers, right? You said the Guardians. Okay, Mets, Phillies. Okay, Royals, Yankees, and Padres, Dodgers. Really? Okay, Diane, your picks. You said wait. Say the first one again. Padres. Okay, what about Detroit and Cleveland? I'm going Detroit. You guys know something I don't know? Hmm. Oh well. All right. Well, so many of you have thought of taking the Dodgers. Well, you're not alone here because, according to the sports books, not that they're professional opinion, but it still counts. The Dodgers and Yankees look to be the strong World Series contenders. Oh, what a shock! Depending on what sports books you follow, some have the Dodgers, while others have the Yankees. Both are favored in the divisional rounds, as the Dodgers face the Padres and the Yankees take on the Royals. Okay, so I'm not surprised there at all. So, furthermore, bookmakers, though, are now listen to this, guys. Bookmakers are more concerned about the upstart Detroit Tigers. Told you, who went from a long shot to being a liability in just in 4 weeks' time. Once upon a time, the Tigers were 500 to 1 to win the World Series, are now at a staggering, listen, 10 to 1. Yeah, and you guys don't want to take Detroit. Okay. And are attracting sports bettors inside and outside the state of Michigan. DraftKings and BetMGM, although I said MGM Bet, say the Tigers have attracted more than 50% of all World Series bets with their sports books in Michigan since September the 1st. In just the past week, the Tigers jumped ahead of the Royals and Padres in terms of becoming a contending team. Three of the top five preseason betting favorites, the Orioles, the Braves, and the Astros, were eliminated in the wild card round, while the Tigers and the Mets were able to advance. What were you saying with the Tigers now not having a chance, guys? Hmm? I think the Tigers have shown best. Mhm. Yeah. But the Tiger, yeah, the Tigers were showing vast improvement. Right. Yeah. So I mean, the Tigers are showing a vast improvement in the past month, and I think they got something going here. I mean, yeah, back in the midseason, yeah, I was gonna count Detroit out, but now over the past few weeks, they have really shown they can be contenders, and they could also be the sleeper pick in the American League. So I wouldn't necessarily rule them out. The Mets may be in the National League, although I doubt they're gonna get past the Phillies. But Detroit could surprise us all. I wonder where my partner from Michigan is. He's gonna love this. All right. So, any other thoughts on the Detroit Tigers, or move on? Okay. Had three. Yeah, 5 seconds. All right. So, moving on. More baseball news. Don't worry, we'll get to football a little bit later. Uh, okay. On the bad news front here, Padres pitcher Joe Musgrove is going to miss the entire NLDS series and maybe more. Oh boy. The right-hander will undergo Tommy John surgery after leaving his start early with tightening his elbow, said by manager AJ Perrell just today. Musgrove pitched in Wednesday's clinching series over the Braves, giving up only one hit and one run in 4 innings and struck out four. But his final pitch was a weak, and I do mean weak, 76 miles per hour. It was 5 pitches below his norm. Padres catcher Kyle Hasakawa noted something was wrong as Musgrove threw his next pitch. Musgrove then left the game with a trainer. The Padres won 5-4 over the Braves and now face the Dodgers in the NLDS. That could be a problem here because Musgrove is a good pitcher, and I honestly don't see how the Padres are going to survive without him. So that's why I'm taking the Dodgers. To be an easy series. You got like we said, good pitching stops good hitting. But when you lose your best pitcher, that's going to be awfully tough to go on, especially now at this stage in the season. Because if you lose this, it's done till spring training. So, thoughts on Musgrove, and do the Padres have a chance at all? Steve Davidson, start that with you. So, you don't think that without Musgrove, the Padres are a dead duck? That's what I want. That's what I thought you were going to say. All right, Mike. In other words, with Padres with Musgrove out, forget it. Steve Kent. So would I. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes. Um, yeah. Matthew. Hmm. James. Yeah. Without Musgrove, what are the Padres' chances now? Uh, all right, and I am. Okay, I don't see how, but it's going to be a long shot. But we'll see what happens there. All right, moving on. All right, just going into some more baseball news here. Uh, oh, and by the way, in the surprise move, the Mets are starting Cody Zenga. He got the nod for the opening game against the Phillies. Right now, I don't think I want to mention the score here because it might upset a few people, so I'll just leave it at that. The surprise is yes. So the surprise was he only made one start in the season due to his injuries. How about that? One start, he's going to be starting for this game. Senga signed a 5 year, $75 million deal before 2023 and became an all star in his first year with the Mets. He made 29 starts, 2.98 ERA with 202 strikeouts and 163 innings last season. But injuries mounted up in his right shoulder in spring training, then developed a mechanics issue while rehabbing, and recovery that resulted in tricep discomfort and nerve inflammation that delayed his return. During his first start in late July against the Braves, he strained his calf and needed to leave the game. Before he left, he had 9 strikeouts. He struck out 9 batters in 5+ innings, giving up 2 runs with 2 hits. The injury placed him on the 60-day injured list, where he had been ever since. The Mets hoped Senga would return before the end of the year, but the tricep issue just kept aggravating him and did not able to return. So Senga approached the Mets about pitching in the series that convinced manager Carlos Mendoza to give him a start, which is kind of surprising when you only gave him one. So he threw a 25 pitch live batting session this week without any sign of discomfort. Plus, I see that he's feeling better. I just don't know if you would have, put him in only after one start. I mean, because generally I think you would need more, considering what he went through. So I don't know if that was the right move. But I guess if the Mets think they have any chance, they want to put in, the best pitcher, and that's why he's in. Mike, being you're the Mets fans around here, what do you think of the move with Senga pitching in his first game? Yeah. All right. Uh, Diane. Hmm. Steve Davidson. All right. Steve Kent. Yes. Even with one start, he's been going through rehab. Uh oh, Miriam's here. All right, Miriam. Any thoughts on? Did we find? Okay. I just thought it'd be a little bit premature since he hadn't done much of the year, and I thought that's kind of taking a chance. But I agree with your comment, Steve. So okay. Mhm. Yep. Right. Right. Okay. James. James. Yeah. Any thoughts? When Senga starting for the Mets, even though he hasn't had much time this year. You can say that again. Yeah. Exactly. And Matthew. Oh. Mhm. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, the D-backs who, choked, fired their pitching coach, Brent Storm, uh, on Wednesday, I believe. Storm, now at 75, long been considered one of the best pitching coaches in the majors. But however, this season the D-backs finished with an ERA of 4.62 and gave up 788 runs for third worst in the National League. Wow. Their opponent's batting average of 2.66 was the second worst, behind mhm, behind only the Rockies. The poor pitching wasted an excellent season by Arizona's offense, which finished with the most runs scored at 866, tied for top batting average of 2.63. Assistant pitching coach Dan Carlson and bullpen coach Mike Fetters was also dismissed, though either could fit into other roles in the organization, that according to the Arizona Republic. Carlson had been in his role for the last 3 years, while Fetters was in his position for the last six and has been with the organization for the last 12. General manager, the general manager noted injuries to pitchers Zach Gallen, Paul Sewald, Murrow Kelly, Jordan Montgomery, and Erod, and Eduardo Rodriguez affected the staff's performance, but believed there was enough depth to overcome those losses. Obviously, it wasn't enough. Montgomery finished the season with a 6.23 ERA and 21 starts, with 26 appearances for the Diamondbacks. Storm called signaling Montgomery to a 1 year deal was a big mistake, which was 1 year for 25 million. Yeah, that is a big mistake, folks, right there. Especially with that kind of an ERA. Golly, no wonder you couldn't get. I mean, you're not going to games with that kind of an ERA, folks. So the Diamondbacks you know, got what was coming to them, and they eventually lost. So that goes down with that one. Okay. Yes. Right. Of course. Right. Exactly. And just a few more notes here. The Dodgers are flipping stars Jack uh, Flaherty and rookie Yamamoto in the rotation for the NLDS against the Padres. Yamamoto will start game one today, and Flaherty will start game two on Sunday. So Yamamoto could be ready for game five, but extra day rest as he has for every outing this season. It's about having more options. Except President of Operations Andrew Friedman. It creates more flexibility for things we can't possibly know right now, which is how our pitching has been used in games 1 through 4, just having many options as possible. This will be the third time in 5 years that the Dodgers and Padres will face each other in the postseason. The Padres won the 2022 season, and the Dodgers won their series in the short pandemic season of 2020, and also won the World Series. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, by switching pitchers. You're still playing the same series and whatnot. So I don't see, I don't see anything major with that. You're just switching the rotation, which is common. And the Royals, well, a year ago there were 106 losses, and now they're in the ALDS. How about that? That's that's gonna be kind of something. I don't expect the White Sox to go from 121 losses to a contending team next year, but if you can come back from 106 losses the previous year and make it, you gotta give them credit for that. The Royals were shown, that's a comeback story of the year right there. But I don't think you're gonna be able to. Yeah, yeah, yep. Right. Isaiah, is that you? Hello, Virginia. Yes, Virginia, you're on. Or I think you're on. Hmm. All right, we'll get back to that. Okay, Steve, before I get any 30, you have any UFC or WWE information you want to do? Okay, all right. I can try. Yeah. You did say 5 rounds, correct? Honest. Yeah. 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 All right. Diane, your trivia. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. So I'll just go along with the Devils news. I'm sure you Devils fans would be happy. They are now 2-0. So last night they began the season with a win over the Buffalo Sabres, 4-1. Looks like another long season in up in Buffalo. Um, Stefan Stefan Nesson, uh, not that kind of Devils team. Stefan Newson scored the first goal of the season and the first of the Devils, and the first goal officially to start the season. Jonathan uh, Kovacek and Paul Cotter, that's Carter with a K, had a goal and an assist for the Devils. Goaltender Jacob Markstrom made 30 of 31, saved 30 of 31 saves. Not bad. Owen Powell was the only scorer for the Sabres. Yuko uh, Lukin made 19 saves for the Sabres despite their lackluster effort. The Sabres' best chance of scoring the first with 3 minutes to go when Nicholas Kubel made a wide open slide of the net, but Markstrom stopped it with a diving save. Markstrom was acquired last season, but obviously by the Devils when their goaltending was horrible to say the least. Isn't that right, guys? Right. I mean, they were horrible. Nico Hersher, mhm, Nico Hersher scored in the second. Nathan Baston collected the puck below the goal line and sent it up in front of the Devils captain, who wired a wrist shot from a high slot that went glove slide on Luka. Carter scored an empty net goal with 2:36 to go in the third period for that 4-1 win. And I'm happy to say they also won against the Sabres today, 3-1. That game was played at 10 o'clock this morning, our time. Remember, both games were played in Prague as the NHL continues its global series, which has now been running for the past 11 years. I kind of like the idea, but 10 a.m. in the morning, it's a little bit too early. I mean, a lot of people I don't think are because at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, well, yeah, you do. Yeah, but it competes with the early games of football. So that's a death trap right there. But so far, hey, the Devils look pretty good. I mean, I know it's early and most of the game, of course, everybody else hasn't started yet. But you gotta like what they've been doing so far. I mean, 7 goals already in the first 2 games, as compared to Buffalo with only two. So, Mike, you gotta be pretty happy about this. Yes, they did. Diane, your thoughts on the Devils so far, and then we'll do your trivia after that. Okay, but your thoughts on the Devils first, then we'll do the trivia. Okay, okay, go ahead with your trivia. I'll say 20 seconds. Wow. Speed demon. Yeah, yeah, you're right, about 6 seconds. I was at 10, but okay. 'Well, I think maybe because they lacked a lacked number of players. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, Di. Okay. You can tell us. Oh, show off, of course. Mhm. 11. Yeah, because the goalkeeper's always on. Alright. Okay, so I'll move on then. I wanna get thoughts, though, on the passings of 2 sports legends that passed away this week before I do anything else. On Monday, we lost to Dikembe Mutombo, who was a great shot blocker, for mostly, the Denver Nuggets, although he played for other teams well, like the Nets, the Knicks, and the, Sixers. Well, um, passed away of a brain condition, um, this past weekend. I was kind of a shock there. And brain brain cancer, yes. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of a shock. He was only 58 years old, though. The cause of now brain cancer that was diagnosed this time 2 years ago. Mutombo, a native of Congo, became one of the best defensive players in league history over 18 years with 6 different teams, mostly the Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks, along Hawks and Rockets also made stops in the tri-state area with the Knicks. That's in the Sixers. He was an eight-time All-Star with a four-time Defensive Player of the Year, and had the league and led the league in block shots in 3 straight seasons in 94, 95, and 96, and led the league in rebounds in 2000 and 2001. Eat your heart out, Dennis Rodman. Oh boy. Yeah. Both the Nuggets and Hawks retired his number and was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2015. Some of you might remember more for doing a series of Geico commercials later on. Yeah. Oh, no, 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 my house. Oh boy. I had to do it. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I was saving that for this just this occasion, of course. Yeah. And another passing, of course, the legendary Pete Rose, who won 3 World Series. Um, we didn't know what it was when the time he passed away, but now it's confirmed he passed away of a heart attack at the age of 83. Most of you know that he was also known for something that not to be proud of, betting on his own team during his playing days, and of course that, of course, was well, a stupid thing to do. And and just for that, they won't even let him in the Hall of Fame. You know, he's the all-time base hits leader and whatnot, and was a dynamite player. I remember the night he broke the record with that, and that was quite a moment that you'll never see. That record is never going to be broken, folks. 4,163 base hits. You're never going to see that happen again. That was one of the great base hit players of all time, and that's going to be tough to break. But it's a shame that he also that we lost such a great player as well. So, does anybody have any thoughts on the passing? both these fine gentlemen? Yeah. You think he'll never make it, huh? Never? Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, but Steve, honestly, I mean, there have been players who have done a lot worse than betting on games, and, there are players in the Hall of Fame. And what back in the '50s when Alex Karras, for the Detroit Lions, did some, like, betting, and I think he's in the Hall of Fame. So why should Pete Rose be the one to be, the scapegoat here? Let him finish, guys, let him finish. Go ahead, Steve. Okay. Reds. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. So the Yeah. Well, I think he was involved with something with the, Diane, not necessarily, getting into the ring itself, unless it was for charity. Aha, right. Okay. Bo Sox? I know. Still, it's a shame. Alright, so, I got some more hockey news. The Golden Knights signed forward Tanner Pearson to a 1-year, $775,000 deal, um, just, yesterday. He recorded 2 goals in the preseason to go up 4 assists and has been participating in Knights, with a pro tryout contract. Last season, he only had 5 goals and 8 assists with Montreal, a Stanley Cup champion with the Kings in 2014 when they beat my Rangers. Thank you. Here's 285 points in 644 games with the Kings, Hens, Canucks, and Montreal. Yeah, I hate that moment. Yeah. He was like the 30th goal in 2020. Yeah. Yeah. It's only preseason, folks. Remember, the North American League starts on Tuesday. Good afternoon, Roger. All right. Nice to have you on. Okay. Okay. Let me move on. Let me move on. All right. All right. Well, Bronny James made his debut last night for the Lakers, even though it's preseason, in a loss to the Timberwolves. He told reporters after the game he was a bit nervous, which is understandable because rookies do get nervous when they play in their first big league game. Not a shock at all. All right, my set just went over for a minute. We'll be back. But I was excited to play in the game. He came off the bench in the second quarter. The former USC guard was scoreless in his first 6 minutes, but did have 2 blocks and assists with 1 turnover. James blocked Rob Dillingham's shot before the ball was collected by a teammate and passed back to Bronny, who turned for Rai uh, Ruchimara in the corner for a 3-point play. To move on, James returned in the fourth and did score a few points to finish the game. If you're wondering about LeBron, no, he did not play for whatever reason. I guess just wasn't ready yet. So we don't know when the anticipated debut of the first Fireson dude in the NBA will be. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point before Bronny goes into the G League, which I'm sure is going to happen. But I think it's going to happen. So all right, not really a great debut for Bronny, but that was to be expected. I wasn't expecting him to come out of the gate, and start, tearing up the court with like a 20 point or 30 point win and whatnot. So I'm not too surprised with this at all. Anybody else? Yeah, yeah. Mhm. All right, right, of course. Hmm. He will. Yeah, but he's gonna go to the G League, to start the season. So we'll just have to wait and see what's gonna happen. No, he's not. No, right. No, you don't. Exactly. All right. So now I'll turn to the football portion of the program, and it goes like this. So we'll start with college first, and then we'll do the NFL. Makes sense. So for those of you newcomers, remember we do the week ahead of schedule for college football since the games have already started. Go figure. All right. So away we go. We'll start off with they're starting early this week too. The games will start on Tuesday and Wednesday, but nothing of any real big games to speak of. So uh we'll start with Friday. All right. All right, I'll do this one first, even though it's not 25, but it concerns some of our listeners. Northwestern versus Maryland on Friday. Steve, who do you got? Of course. I did that one just especially for you. Steve Kent, is he still here? I think you think he dropped out. Okay, Mike, Matthew. Okay, James. It's Maryland versus Northwestern. All right, Diane. And finally, oh wait, Mike. Did I get you? Roger. Alex. Northwestern and Maryland. Okay, and Virginia. What about you? I know you're on here, but you're not answering. Why do they do that? All right, moving on to Saturday's games. All right, this should be fairly. Oh wait, no, we got a few more. UNLV versus Utah State. Steve. Yeah, surprise this year, isn't it? Mike. All right. Uh, Matthew. James. UNLV versus Utah State. They're not that very good, but that's what they're playing. All right, Diane. Alex. Roger. Yeah. And wherever you are, I guess I'll go UNLV. I'm gonna go with UNLV as well. Mostly going to basketball school, but hey, they're making the marks in football now. All right. Utah versus ASU. Steve, Mike, Matthew, James, Utah, Arizona State. I think he said Utah. All right. Okay, okay. Diane, Roger, Alex. I'll go Utah too. For Saturday, Alabama, South Carolina. Steve, go ahead. Number one team in the country as well. Mike, all right. Matthew, James, Alabama and South Carolina. Right. Diane. Right. Roger, Alex. Think with your head, not with your heart. Yes, Alabama as well. Yes, you do. Missouri versus. Okay, this should be easy. Missouri versus UMass. Steve, Mike, Matthew, James, Diane, Roger, and Alex. Missouri. Missouri it is. I know one person though who will not be happy about that, but that person's on this is not on this podcast. Okay, sorry. Clemson, Wake Forest. Sounds more like a basketball matchup, but we're in football. Okay, Steve, Mike. Okay, Matt, James, Diane, Roger, Alex. You got it. Comes all the way. All right. We'll get to the non-comp. We'll get to the non rankings in a minute. Ooh, good game here. A couple good games here. Texas versus Oklahoma. Steve, Mike. Ooh. Well, they are playing Oklahoma, so I get it. Matthew, James, Diane, Roger, and Alex. Exactly. Texas all the way. All right. Ooh, good game here. Listen to this, guys. Penn State versus USC. Both are ranked in the top 15. Steve. All right. Mike, Matthew, James. Diane. Roger. Okay. And Alex. I'll go Penn State too. It's really not much of an upset because they are very close in the rankings. But USC at home, that could be a problem. I'm still gonna go Penn State though. Okay, Notre Dame. Yes, of course. Okay, good West Coast well, good battle here. Notre Dame. Oh, rivals. Notre Dame, Stanford. Steve, Mike, Matt, James, Diane, Roger, Alex. Okay. Ooh, upset here. Okay, I'm gonna go Notre Dame anyway. All right. Another one sounds like a basketball matchup, but this is still football, so here goes. Louisville versus Virginia. Steve, Mike, Matthew. All right. James, Diane, Roger, Alex. I'll go Louisville too. Illinois, Purdue. Steve, Mike, Matthew, James, Diane, Roger, and Alex. I'm going. It, yeah, this is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with Purdue, and still 1-0 Philadelphia. But well, okay. Next up, BYU versus Ohio. Steve, Mike, Matthew, James, Diane, Roger, Alex. Yeah. Virginia, are you there? Okay, maybe just listening in. All right, that's okay too. Uh, okay. Georgia versus Mississippi State. Steve. All right. Mike. Matt. Yes. James. Diane. Roger. Alex. Tennessee, Florida. Steve. Mike. Matt. James. Diane. Roger. And Alex. Tennessee, Florida. I'll go in Tennessee too. Tennessee. Ooh, game of the week right here, folks. Listen carefully. The Ohio State versus Oregon. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Steve, Steve. Okay, Mike. This is not gonna be easy, folks. Matthew. Yeah, neither would I. Uh, James. All right, Diane. Roger. Alex. I think you're. Yeah, I think you're. I think I'll go Oregon too on this one. All right. Another good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Another good matchup here. Ole Miss versus LSU. Very tight in standings. Steve. No, Ole Miss. Steve, you say LSU. Okay, okay. I want to make sure I heard that correct. Mike. Matthew. Yes. James. Diane. Roger. Alex. Yeah, I'm going. This is a tough one though. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with it. Ole Miss. Not easy. Iowa State, West Virginia. Steve. Mike. Matthew. Okay. Right. All right. James. It's Iowa State, West Virginia. Okay. Yeah. Not. It's not that easy. Even this point in the season, is it, folks? All right. Diane. Roger. Ooh, upset. And Alex. Oh, you want a Rocky Mountain High? I know. Yeah, so it was a Rocky Mountain High. Okay. Kansas State. I'll say it again. Kansas State versus Colorado. Steve. Colorado, he said. Okay, Mike. Uh, Matthew. James. All right. Diane. Roger. Alex. Like a Katy Perry song. Like a Katy Perry song, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Colorado as well. But yeah, Diane gets the joke. All right. Boise State. Okay, Boise State versus Hawaii. Steve. Mike. Matthew. James. Diane. Roger. Alex. Making it happen is Boise State. So I can say about Hawaii is aloha. Sorry. And one other matchup that is not a top 25, but serves a special interest to some of us, maybe all of us, depending how you look at it. Should be interesting as how'd you know? Rutgers versus Wisconsin. Oh boy, this is not gonna be easy. I'll start with the local crew first. Mike, Roger, Diane. You're close enough. Alex, who do you got? Okay. All right, now for the non-metropolitan area crowd. Steve, Matthew, James, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. I'll go Rutgers. Yeah, the land of cheese. Oh boy. All right, so pretty good. I mean, Rutgers is pretty good this year, so don't knock. Well, that's what it's called, isn't it? In fact, Vince Lombardi said one time, three things that matter: religion, family, and cheese. That's what he said. Yeah. He also said cheese is the only. Well, he also said cheese isn't everything. It's the only thing. Okay. All right. I'll move on. I'll move on before I do any more bad jokes. I'll move on. All right, guys. So now we're going to go to the NFL. And I'm going to read the standings off here. So listen carefully. In the AFC East, we have the Bills at 3-1, my Jets at 2-2, them and the Dolphins at 1-3. You guys know what I mean by them, right? All right, the Patriots. All right, all right. In the North, Steelers are 3-1, Ravens are 2-2, and tie at 1-3 are the Browns and the Bungles, or the Bengals as you call it. The Bungles. Yeah, and I don't mean video killing the radio, and I don't mean video killing the radio star either. Okay, moving on. Yes, the South. Right, the South. Texans are 3-1. The Colts are 2-2. The Titans 3-3, and the Jaguars 0-4. Yeah, I know. Neither did I. Yeah, I gotta move on, guys. I gotta move on. Hold on. Okay, the West. The Chiefs 4-0. The Chargers. Oh, three-way tie for second. The Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos 2-2. All right, National Conference. Steve, you should be happy. This the Commanders are 3-1. You should be happy. I'm not. Cowboys and Eagles tied 2-2, and the Giants 1-3. Sorry, Mike. Um, Vikings in the North are 4-0. Lions are 3-1. I like it. The Packers and the Bears are 2-2. An improvement from last year. Okay. In the South, the Dirty Birds and the Bucks are 3-2. The Saints are 2-2, and the Panthers are 1-3. In the West, Seahawks are 3-1. 49ers 2-2. The Cardinals and Rams are 1-3. All right, so let me ask you this, guys. Now that we're in the one corner of the season, what has been your biggest surprise of the year so far, and who has been your biggest disappointment? Steve, we'll start that with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought so. All right, all right. Mike, all right, wait, hold on. Steve, well, who's your biggest disappointment? All right, Mike. Right, and your surprise? No, no, no. Who is the best surprise so far? All right, the Steelers. Okay, Matthew. Yeah. Yes. James, your biggest surprise and disappointment. Okay. Yeah. Especially Jacksonville. All right, Diane. Mm. And the disappointment? All right. Um, Roger. Roger. Mhm. Okay. And Alex. Okay. I would say for me that I would think that the biggest surprise is the Steelers, but surprisingly, you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think the biggest disappointment part has been the 49ers. I mean, coming from just barely winning the Super Bowl, last year and losing in the last minute to now only a meager 2-2. That to me is more of a disappointment than the Jaguars are 0-4 because I didn't think we were expecting much from the Jaguars. But it's been a bigger bit of a letdown, coming from a off a Super Bowl loss to this. So that I think is more. That's true. Okay. All right. Our predictions are ready. Let's go. All right. Can I get the right page, please? Uh, Here we are. All right. Tomorrow's schedule. Oh, by the way, I took the Falcons over the Bucks. Steve, who did you have? Um, okay. Hang on. Hang on a second. Sorry, Mike. Mike. Okay, you did. Matthew, who did you have? No, well, it's only well, we're doing a review of Thursdays first. So who did you have? You had the yeah. Yes, the Yucks and the Dirty Birds. Yeah. James? Okay, that's true. We went down to overtime, sure. Diane, who did you have? Roger and Alex, who did you have? Okay, right. Yes, they sure did. They came unwrapped. All right, tomorrow, Jets versus the Vikings. I'll start with the local crew first. Mike, Roger, Diane, Alex, mhm, Steve. All right. Boy. Matthew. Hmm. James. Yeah, I hate to go against my team, but the Vikings are just too strong this year. I have to go with the Vikings. I think it'd be relatively close, but I think in the end it's going to happen that way. All right, Panthers versus the Bears. Steve, Mike, James, Matthew, Diane. She says with a question mark. Roger and Alex. I'm gonna go with the Bears. All right, Ravens, Bengals. Steve, I figured you'd say that. Mike, Roger. I'm sorry, Matthew. You, okay, James. James is Diane, Roger, and Alex. All right, I'm gonna go Ravens too. Dolphins versus that. Steve. Okay, Mike, Matthew, James. That's true. No, I'll give you that. Diane, Roger, and Alex. As much as I hate to go with that, I'm gonna have to go with that too. I think you're right, even though I can't stand him. Yeah. Okay. Browns, Commanders. Oh, Steve, of course. Mike, Matthew. I no. The Browns are gonna beat themselves. Oh, ooh, James. Sorry, sorry. Okay. Diane. Uh, Roger. Alex. I'll go with Commanders too. Colts, Jaguars. Steve. Okay. Mike. Colts. Okay. Uh, Matthew. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Get this. Pat McAfee's kicking contest uh, wins 100K with a 33-yard field goal. The game, college gaming will donate 60K to hurricane relief. That's nice. Yeah, good shot. Too. Nice. Hello, Miriam. Uh, Diane, Roger, And Alex. So am I. Okay, I thought she was here. All right. All right. Bills, Texans. Okay, Diane. Right. Steve, Mike. Whoa. Roger. Sorry, Matthew. James. All right. Uh, Roger. Alex. So am I. Raiders, Broncos. Steve. Mike. Matthew. James. Diane. Roger. And Alex. Broncos and Raiders. I'm gonna go Broncos too. All right. Cardinals, 49ers. Steve. Mike. Okay. Um, Matthew. James. Diane. Diane. Hmm. I'll get back to her. Okay, Roger, you speak up. Roger. Alex. Well, I've been disappointed in the Flyers this year. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, actually. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Okay, Packers, Rams, Steve. Mike. Matthew. James. Diane. Roger. And Alex. Exactly. Packers it is. Giants, Seahawks. Let's start with the local crew first. Mike. Diane. Roger. Alex. Steve. Steve. Matt. James. Okay, I'm gonna take Seahawks as well. Cowboys. Right. Yes. All right. Cowboys, Steelers. Steve. All right, Mike. Yeah. All right. Wait, Steve. Steve, who do you got? Cowboys or Steelers? Steve, I don't have a lot of time. Who do you got? Cowboys or Steelers? All right, Mike. Matt, James, Diane, Roger, Alex. I'm going with Dallas. And finally, the Monday night game: the Saints versus the Chiefs. Steve. All right, Mike. Okay, Matt, James, Diane, of course. Roger and Alex. Right. Chiefs it is. The Chiefs it is, and the bye weeks go to the Lions, Titans, Eagles, and Chargers as the bye weeks now take effect. All right. I'm glad I got through that. Okay, so moving on. Um, okay. Oh, by the way, just to clear up on Pete Rose, Rose first broke into the majors in 1963 and played for 24 seasons. Uh, he broke in 1963. He spent first 16 years with the Reds and won the 75 and 76 seasons part of the Big Red Machine. Then he spent 5 years with the Phillies and got the Phillies a title in 1980. Then spent one season with the Expos before returning to the Reds to finish out his career, where he hit the base hit record in 1985. And I remember because I was watching that game. All right, Padres shortstop though, Haas Sung Kim will undergo season-ending surgery on his right shoulder, which leaves the Padres without one of their best infielders. Okay, Kim suffered the injury on August 18th, a game against the Rockies, and has not played since. The South Korean, who was a Gold Glove last year, played mostly at second base while trying to make a return to the playoffs. Well, now he's not going to be there. I tried everything I could do to help this team, Kim told MLB last Saturday, but my body would not listen to me. So I think my season is over. It's really disappointing and frustrating because we had a legitimate chance for the postseason, and I could have been a part of it. Kim was batting 233 with 11 home runs and 22 stolen bases, 121 games this season. His future with the Padres is uncertain because he's in the final year of his contract. What a way to end it. The deal carries a multiple option for 2025, but Kim could decline if he feels he is worth more than open market. Oh, by the way, what were your thoughts on Week 4, guys, in the NFL? Steve, go ahead. What were your thoughts? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Right. Okay. Mike. Yeah. Mike, your thoughts. Yes. Uh, Matthew. Matthew, your thoughts on Week 4? Isn't happening. James, do you have any thoughts on week 4? Okay. Diane. Okay. Diane. Hmm. Roger? Hmm. And Alex. Exactly. Uh-huh. Yeah. I, I thought exactly too. Because, a low score a low scoring affair with between the Jets and the Broncos. Despite, of course, the field was a mess, but the Jets didn't have anything, in their running game or whatnot. And Denver just looked to be, stronger. It was a 1 point victory, a very low scoring affair. I didn't expect that though. But then again, considering what the mess on the field was raining, you know, it was what it was. But the Jets didn't seem like they had anything. And Rodgers, well, he was adding his injuries again. You know, he hasn't much left in him anyway. This I think is going to be his last year in the league, but he has to do better than what he did last Sunday. Just awful. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Congratulations to Tarek Skubal, um, the pitcher for the Tigers. He finished the regular season on Sunday, leading the AL in wins, strikeouts, and ERA to win the Triple Crown. Triple Crown was still up for was still. In fact, there was a double Triple Crown winner as well. So School takes that, and I'll just find a minute to get to the NL. No, I'm sorry, Chris Sale won the award. So congratulations on that. If I can find the NL, I'll find it. But it doesn't seem to be coming up right now. All right. Yeah, for some reason, sometimes my notes just seem to disappear. Oh, and speaking about comic tragedy, of course, uh, White Sox owner Jerry Rizzendorf says he takes the blame for the history-making horrible season in a letter to White Sox fan base minutes after taking the field in the final game against the Tigers of the season. By all measures, our field performance was a disaster. No kidding. The White Sox losses of 121 were the most in the modern era. As leader of this organization, I take full responsibility and no excuses. I thank you for continuing to support the team throughout this horrible, awful season. You deserve better. This season performance was completely unacceptable, and the reactions and emotions of the fans are certainly understandable. Yeah. Rissendorf outlined his vision for a better future over the subsequent paragraphs. He promised that he would evaluate the trade and free agent markets and install leadership in the analytics department of an ongoing overhaul that began last year under general manager Chris Getz. Additionally, Resendorf noted that Getz' search for a new manager is underway. The White Sox fired Pedro Grifol earlier this season and was replaced by former outfielder Grady Sizemore only on an intern basis. Resendorf made a point in celebrating Chicago's improved farm system, noting that the Double A squad won the Southern League and their Class A team reached the Carolina League Finals. It was a long and painful season for all of us. We recognize on a daily basis this is our responsibility to earn your trust, attention, and support. We vote to take that approach daily as we put in the work this offseason to be better. Risendorf letters starting conclusion. We owe it to each other and to all of you. Yeah, and what was a comic tragedy in the history of baseball. Oof. Yeah, can they do better though next year, guys, or for what? I mean, because this season was just beyond pathetic. I mean, this season was just ugh. Yeah, I broke that one. Yeah, yeah, it's beyond bad. That's exactly what I would have said because that's exactly what that represented. Ugh, yeah, just horrible. Ugh. Yeah, oh, Chris Sale won the NL Triple Crown. Okay, so Green Bay Packers finished Sunday the Vikings. Now, wide receiver Christian Watson was out, and there's no telling how he'll return. Watson suffered an ankle injury. FME reports that Watson could be heading to the injured reserve list after being diagnosed with a high ankle sprain that would keep him out for the next 4 games. Watson did not catch a single, have a single catch for Sunday's game. He had 5 catches for 80 yards this season so far. Tough break. Though the ankle injury is new, Watson missed 8 games last season with hamstring injuries, so both Watson and the Packers are very familiar with his injuries. Okay, so we get that. And our blunder of the week. Well, listen to this, guys. A competitive game between the Lions and Seahawks uh, concluded by incorrect call by the officials. Thanks a lot. That cost the Seahawks a very two important points. The call took place late in the third quarter after Seahawks cut the deficit to 28-20. Seahawks appeared to make it 2022 after DJ Metcalf caught Geno Smith's pass on a Seahawks 2-point attempt. The officials, however, confirmed it was an incomplete pass. Really now. Seahawks did get another chance, but officials penalized the Lions defense on the play, but Smith was unable to connect with Jake Bobo on the redo. As you can see, Metcalf clearly caught the ball, maintained possession, and was able to stay in bounds, but the officials did not see it like that. Well, fooey on you. One could argue that the Seahawks could have challenged the call. They did not, and probably chose not to fear of losing a timeout. Either way, the officials fouled up big time, and the Seahawks paid for it. This could be so. That's my idiot of the week. I mean, what did anybody make of that call? I mean, I think the call was legit. I mean, the conversion was legit, and the refs didn't see it. No, that's baloney. That was legit 2-point conversion, and the refs, you know, being their blinders bats, it cost them the win, and that's what happened there. Uh-oh. And Von Miller is suspended 4 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy announced by the league on Wednesday. Miller will miss the next 4 games and will be eligible to be reinstated on October 28th. Though it's not specifically announced, the suspension likely stems from Miller's domestic violence incidents last fall. Miller turned himself into Texas police last November on suspicion of assaulting a pregnant woman, which is the mother of his yep, a pregnant woman, which is a felony in the third degree. Miller was accused of assaulting his longtime girlfriend and the mother of his children at their shared home in Dallas. Among other things, Miller allegedly choked his girlfriend during an argument, ripped out a patch of her hair, and stomped on her laptop. Okay. Miller's girlfriend downplayed the incident and denied that there was any actual assault. Miller said the allegations were completely false and blown out of proportion. The case was eventually closed without charges being filed. The NFL has been investigating ever since. What an idiot. Miller was also yes. Miller was also investigated for domestic violence in 2021. He was playing for the Broncos back then. I was not charged with that incident either. Miller's in the third year of a 6-year, $120 million deal with the Bills. He has appeared in all 4 games this season with 5 tackles and 3 sacks while helping the Bills to a 3-1 start. With his suspension, Miller will miss games against the Texans, Jets, Titans, and Seahawks, and will be able to return November 3rd when the Bills play the Dolphins. How stupid can you be? Yeah, I don't know why either. Anybody who does that is wrong. Yes. Yeah, he is. He is. You're right. And Devontae, mhm, exactly. Yeah. Well, we don't want that, do we? No, we don't want anything to get. We don't want things to get worse. No. Yeah. And yeah, and Patrick Ewing is going to be an ambassador to the Knicks, which makes him return to the organization. So good news for good old number 33. I like that. No, he was not. No, he wasn't. Yeah. Steve. Yeah. I gotta move on. I gotta move on. All right. So anyway, Indiana Fever King and Clark was a near unanimous decision for the WNBA Rookie of the Year that was announced Thursday. Clark, drafted #1 overall in the April draft, received 66 out of 67 votes from a national media panel. The other one vote went to Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky. The Chicago Sky was selected 7th overall. Favorite players have won the award in back-to-back years. Last year, Angel Leah Boston won the award, and she was the one pick in last year's draft. Both Clark and Boston helped the Fever reach the postseason for the first time since 2016, but that postseason was cut short as they were swept by the Connecticut Sun in the first round. Yeah, Clark was joined by WNBA. Yeah, Clark was joined on the WNBA rookie team by Reese, Sky Sarah, Camila Carcerto, Rakia Jackson of the Sparks, and Liberty's Leonie Fipich. Clark finished the first season in the WNBA, averaging 19.4 per game, 8.4 assists and 5 rebounds, and 5.7 assists, and 1.3 steals per game, and was sixth in scoring and third in rebounding. Angel Reese led that with 13.1 points per game. Okay. And as the Atlanta Dream, Taisha Wright was out. Her season's over. I know about time, guys. Steve Tobin. The announcement comes after the Dream were knocked out the first round of the playoffs. Wright was hired in the 2022 season after a brief stint with the Vegas Aces. She was hired to replace Mike Pearson and Darius Taylor, who split the 2020 season as the Dream's head coach before having the organization parted ways with Nikki Cohen the year before. The Dream finished with regular season finished at 15 and 25, made the playoffs for the second straight year, but was knocked out of playoffs by the Liberty. The Dream finished 48 and 68 with Wright as a head coach. Which reminds me, hold on a second, guys. I want to do something a little bit interesting here. I don't know if anybody has followed the WNBA here on this panel, but I'm gonna try it anyway. All right, ready? Okay, so we're down to the final four. We have the Aces, who won last night's game against the Liberty, unfortunately. So it's now 2-1. And the Minnesota Lynx taking on the Connecticut Sun. Steve, who do you got between the Liberty and the Aces? Mike. Mike. Mike? Hmm. Yeah. What about Minnesota and Connecticut? The Lynx. All right. Matthew. Matthew. All right. Roger. Well, we're only in the semifinals, so it's Liberty against Vegas and the Lynx against the Sun. Okay. All right. And Alex. Okay. Ooh, a good local battle. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean it's a fairly local battle, New York and Connecticut. I mean, just up I-95. Yeah, it is. It's a border war. Of course, with New England, we can go either way because some areas reach New England. And congratulations on the U.S. golf team for winning the Presidents Cup for the 10th straight year, a 10th straight tournament, I should say. Hmm. Okay, 1956, catcher Yogi Berra becomes the fourth Yankee to hit a baseball World Series grand salami in Game Two against Brooklyn. The Dodgers win 13-8, but lose the series 4-3. Too bad. 1957, the All-Star game. Montreal, Quebec. All Stars beat Montreal Canadiens 5-3. Wow. Okay, moving on to more recent history, if I can find it. Okay. NBA shortens the 3-point distance to a uniform 22 feet in an attempt to help offensive players score more. Michael Jordan sets career highs in 3-point attempts, converted 3-point field goals, and nearly double previous statistics. Of course. 1996. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. New York center fielder Bernie Williams homers from each side of the plate as the Yankees beat the Rangers 6-4 to win the AL Division Series 3-1. Mhm. Barry Bonds in 2011 hit his 71st and 72nd home runs in an 11-10 loss versus the Dodgers and breaks McGuire's single season record. Hmm. Well. And for the first time in 42 years, Anaheim Angels won a postseason series by beating the Yankees 9-5 and take the ALDS 3-1 back in 2002. The Chiefs receiver Dante Hall scores on a game-winning 93-yard punt return as the Chiefs beat the Broncos 24-23. 2004, All-Star six-time NBA champion sports Scottie Pippen announced his retirement from the Bulls. I can just hear Ray Clay's announcement right now. Second thought, no, I'm not going to go there. Yeah. And 2005, the NHL opens the regular season after a 10-month lockout. The entire 2020, 2004 and 20 season was wiped out. Uh, and that was the first game that ever went to a shootout in regular season play. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. Rasal's coming up next, so I don't want to delay him. So I'll be back next week, the same time, same station, and we'll talk more with the playoffs. NHL season rolls on, NBA preseason, and more thoughts from the NFL. So on that note, good night. Have a good week.